Wow! Scientists have achieved quantum teleportation. And you're probably thinking that in the future, you can find yourself on a beach in the Maldives in half a second, getting there right from a snowy village in Finland. Just imagine how much money you'll save on air tickets. But stop. Don't go that far. Scientists have only managed to transfer a piece of quantum information from one quantum computer to another. The distance between them was 6.5 feet. But that piece of information moved as if there was no distance at all. It isn't easy to understand what happened there. To do this, we'll use the most powerful computer in the universe, your brain. So scientists at Oxford have learned how to teleport quantum information. Ordinary information consists of bits, while quantum information consists of qubits. And there's a difference. Imagine a small switch. When it's off, it means 0. When it's on, it means 1. And an ordinary computer works with this information. Qubits represent both 0 and 1 at the same time. That is, until you look at the switch, you don't know if it's on or not. This means that it's in a superposition. And only when you look at it does it take position 1 or 0. So, a quantum computer works with qubits that show superposition. Until you measure a qubit, it's in all positions at once, but after measuring it, it shows 0 or 1. This unique feature allows quantum computers to perform several tasks simultaneously. In the quantum world, if you take an exam, you don't write one task after another. You write all the tasks at the same time. This is the first thing to remember to understand quantum teleportation. The second thing is entanglement. Scientists take two particles and entangle them together. This means that they are now connected. If a certain action occurs with one particle, then the same action occurs instantly with the other. Imagine that you have two pens. One is blue, the other is red. You put each pen in a separate box. You don't know which box has red or blue pens because you can't see them under the closed lid. The pen in one of the boxes can be both red and blue, like Schrödinger's cat. Next, you pick up one box and take it to the Amazon jungle. You also send the second box to the top of Mount Everest. As soon as you open the box in the jungle and see the blue pen, it immediately becomes clear that the pen on Mount Everest is red. That's what happens to entangled particles. For example, if one of the particles at one end of the galaxy turns red, the twin particle at the other end of the galaxy instantly reacts to this and turns blue, as if there was no distance at all. These twin particles sense each other and react instantly. This transfer of a quantum state from one particle to another is quantum teleportation. But scientists have known about this for a long time. What new things have they discovered now? They used quantum teleportation to operate a supercomputer. Ordinary computers use cables, wireless Wi-Fi, and a local area network to communicate with one another. All these things ensure that information is transferred from one computer to another at a very fast speed. But it's not teleportation. Each transmitted bit of information has a speed at which it moves. But now, thanks to this quantum stuff, scientists can teleport this information instead of transmitting it. Right now, quantum computers are very fragile and heavy. Any awkward movement and they can break. But with the help of quantum teleportation, they can be combined into one powerful supercomputer, even if its parts are at a distance from one another. So far, this distance has been 6.5 feet, but scientists continue to experiment. Okay, we've got it. Two particles react to each other as if distance doesn't exist. But what exactly is teleported in a computer? It seems we need to strain our brains a little more. So, the particle is in a superposition. That is, it can be in all states at the same time until you look at it. Like that box with the pen on Everest. And here's what the scientists did. Imagine that you have a particle of light, photon A. This is the photon you want to teleport. You also have photons B and C, which are already entangled. Photon B is located on the first computer. Photon C is located on the second computer. You remember that photons react to each other. That is, if you measure and look at one photon, the second one will immediately feel it and take the appropriate shape. You're not looking at them right now. Just remember this fact. Then, you take photons A and B and make them interact with each other. You measure this interaction using a special device. After that, you look at photon A, and it loses its superposition. The magical property of the particle disappears. Then you send information about the interaction of photons A and B to another computer. Photon C reads this information and takes the form of photon A. The original photon A disappears and photon C becomes photon A. Okay, but how do scientists make particles entangle? And what does it mean to make photon A interact with photon B? They use special crystals and complex technology to make particles entangled. Complicated scientific things are also used to create the interaction between photons A and B, but let's not overload our brains with these things. Time to take stock. Here's a quick retelling of what happened. Photon A is the one we want to teleport. Photons B and C are entangled in advance. They're like twins. A and B interact with each other. We read A. This information is transmitted to C. C becomes the copy of A, and A disappears. In 2002, scientists managed to teleport a laser beam this way. In 2006, they teleported information from a laser into a cloud of atoms. Don't ask, it already sounds very difficult. In 2012, they teleported a photon from one end of the city to the other. And now, scientists have been able to teleport the quantum state of a qubit between two computers. If this technology develops further, scientists will be able to replace parts in computers without disassembling them. For example, you have something broken in the processor inside a quantum computer. You don't need to dismantle the entire computer, remove the processor, and put a new one in there and put the pieces back together. Thanks to quantum teleportation, the processor can be replaced instantly inside the computer. Okay, this all sounds pretty complicated, but the main question is, will people be able to teleport? There are some problems here. People are much more complex than one particle because every human consists of trillions of particles. In addition, a quantum teleportation model on a human would look like this. Every particle inside every atom, inside every molecule of your entire body is measured in the Alps. All this information is then sent to the pyramids of Giza. And there, based on this information, your double appears, and your body in the Alps gets destroyed. Visually, this is teleportation. You disappear in one place, and your identical copy materializes in another. But this moment with the destruction of your original self is a little scary, isn't it? Are our memories, our reactions to certain events, our thinking patterns, our feelings, our experiences, are all these also inside subatomic particles? If we look at ourselves through the prism of the quantum world, will we see only the physical body? What about our spiritual world? Is it possible to equate it with the particle world? Or is it something different? In this case, teleportation with the destruction and appearance of a copy in another place won't work. Yes, another you can teleport to another location, but will it be the real you? And where is the guarantee that after teleportation, some part of you will not be lost? What if you lose a piece of yourself again during further teleportation? I'd say trains and planes look much safer at the moment.
In 2017, Chinese scientists achieved what seemed impossible. They managed to teleport a light particle. And not just by a few inches, but from Earth up to their space satellite, which is 310 miles away. Now, teleporting a photon might not sound impressive to you buzzkill, but it was a historic moment for quantum mechanics and space technology. Sure, we're not zapping people back and forth like in Star Trek yet, but it's the first step. The satellite, which is a celebrity now, is named Micius. It's equipped with special tech to receive and read the quantum state of the teleported particle. Micius is the first place in the universe with which our planet has a quantum link. So, what's next? The experiment had to be conducted in a super-controlled environment, in full peace and silence. So, no wonder they decided to do it in Tibet. A ground station in Nagari is located over 2.5 miles above sea level, about half of Mount Everest's height. At such heights, The air is noticeably clear, and not even the tiniest dust particle can mess the teleportation up. This teleportation technology is based on extraordinarily complex theories, including ideas of Stephen Hawking. And the main trick here is that it's not traditional teleportation, not in a sense we're used to. Everything there works on a funky concept called quantum entanglement. Basically, it says that two particles, like photons in our example, can be linked together in such a way that if you change something about one, the other one changes instantly, no matter how far apart they are. Even if there's an entire universe between them, they'll still feel the changes in each other right away. And that's not the creepiest part. All electrons, photons, atoms have their own quantum state, which describes all the information about them, stuff like their properties, position, and energy. Scientists can read this information, getting to know the particle. And for some crazy, unexplainable reason, as soon as we learn information about one entangled particle, the other one becomes its copy. Imagine there's a brother and sister who live in different towns. But when you get to know the brother, the sister suddenly becomes his twin. Weird analogy, but you get the idea. Nothing traveled between these particles. They didn't exchange any information with each other. They just know that we know. It's like they have a strange, invisible bond that nothing can break. This really unnerved Albert Einstein back in the day, since he believed that nothing can travel faster than the speed of light. But this communication happened faster. Einstein called this a spooky action at a distance. In any case, here's how the Chinese scientists pulled off their experiment. First, they entangled or linked some pairs of these photons in a lab on Earth. They kept one photon of each pair on the ground and transmitted the other one up to Myceus using a high-precision optical system, and equipment on the satellite caught it. After that, they read info about both photons, the one on Earth and the one in space. And, you guessed it, the ones in space copied the information about their buddies right away. So, by reading info about a particle at spot A, we can transfer its state to spot B through that invisible quantum link. Which means that actual real-life teleportation is not about literally moving you from Earth to space, but about creating a full quantum copy of you somewhere else. Now, isn't that insane? It's actually quite horrifying and opens up a lot of questions. So, imagine you have a famous old ship. It's so cherished that over time, as parts of it wear out, each piece is replaced with a brand new one, an exact copy of the original. After many years, every single part and nail of the ship has been replaced by their identical copy. Now, the fun question pops up. Is this shiny ship still the one you had? Or is it something entirely new? That's a famous philosophical riddle called the Ship of Theseus. You can see how we ask the same about people and photons. So let's take this Chinese technology and teleport you from Earth to Mars. Every part of you, every particle, is recreated perfectly on Mars based on the quantum information sent through space. Are you on Mars still you? That's a tricky one. Both versions would feel like the real you to themselves. So here are some possible options. Option 1. Nope, it's not you, because we only transferred information about you, and not your literal physical atoms that you're made up of. The original ship was always the real one, because its particles never changed. Now, on the other hand, okay, maybe the atoms are different, but this person literally thinks like you and remembers everything that you remember. From a quantum perspective, if you guys have the same quantum information, you are literally indistinguishable. So both ships are the real ones. And the final option is that it's not just about atoms or consciousness, but about your life experience. You're still in the lab talking to scientists, while the other one is now enjoying the Martian sunset. No matter how similar you are, it's your history in life that makes you, you. Whew! Was that some kind of crazy philosophical puzzle? But let's get back to reality. How can this teleportation change our lives? Well, one of the coolest things will be the quantum internet that spans our entire planet. The internet is basically a superhighway where information zips back and forth like cars. But it still takes some time for light particles to travel from their servers to your phone or PC. Now, imagine a world where all this data appears on your device instantly, and all computers work much faster than they do now. Plus, all communication would be super secure. After Chinese scientists made this discovery, things have been progressing crazy fast in the world of quantum mechanics. Just this year, scientists achieved another huge feat. They managed to teleport quantum states with nearly 90% accuracy, even in noisy conditions. Remember how we said that Tibet was the perfect place for our experiment? That's because there's no greater enemy for quantum teleportation than noise. The entanglement is a very delicate thing, more fragile than houseplants. Literally anything from the outside can easily disturb it and destroy it. Before, scientists tried their best to teleport stuff in noisy conditions. They designed special paths for the light to travel and used some cool gadgets to keep the light particles stable and not get all fuzzy and mixed up. But now, they went a step further. They made a cool machine that helps particles avoid the noise. Even though there are still disturbances around, like bumps and stuff, the magic machine made sure that the connection between the photons stayed strong and the teleportation worked properly. So now this teleportation almost always works. Another cool experiment was conducted in Germany. They found a way to send quantum information through our regular internet, the ones you use to watch this video. Hooking the quantum internet up to the regular one is tricky because they work differently. Remember what we said about noise? Well, this would be like trying to have a very delicate private chat in the middle of a noisy party without anyone else hearing it. All the regular internet noise usually breaks quantum information instantly, which is why, usually, it needed a quantum link, its own quiet road. But the German scientists wanted to see if they could somehow send quantum information along with regular internet data down the same road. So they used this cool technique where they gave quantum and regular data a special rhythm so they don't bump into each other along the way. And that's how they managed to send quantum states through our regular optical fiber, the internet's main road. Nothing got mixed up, and things are still super secure. Now we just need to find a way to make this work on very big distances, and the online world will be faster and safer. Quantum Internet, we're all waiting for you. Yeah, maybe then I'll be able to watch YouTube normally when someone downloads stuff in the other room. Just imagine, you don't have to spend money on tickets, you won't be queuing up at the airport, you don't need to fly in a plane for several hours. Imagine that a long journey from your home to some exotic country takes a couple of seconds. Yep, we're talking about teleportation. For sure, it'll be a very long time before we see a teleporter at home appliances stores next to a TV and a microwave. But we have already got potential developments that could make teleportation real in the future. Researchers in Potsdam have created an actual teleporter system that can scan an object and kind of send it to a different location. But this is not teleportation per se. This technology is based on a method of destructive scanning combined with 3D printing. So, how does it work? The process begins when an object is placed in the sender unit. It's meticulously milled down layer by layer, generating detailed scans at every step. These scans are then transmitted through a secure encrypted channel to a 3D printer at the destination. The printer faithfully recreates the original item layer by layer, effectively achieving a form of teleportation. This way, scientists have a compact, self-contained device that can relocate inanimate objects over distances. You can put an item in the sender unit, enter the address, and press the button. Abracadabra. The system is called Scotty, like the engineer in Star Trek, and it can be useful for companies selling products through home 3D printers. Scotty would create a sort of digital rights management for 3D printed goods, ensuring that each purchase results in a unique copy. For those hoping to teleport themselves straight to the beach, it looks like we'll have to wait at least another decade or two, or way more than that. But if the teleportation of people was based on the Scotty technology, The machine would have to completely copy the human body. Not just the skeleton, muscle tissue, skin, and hair, but also the brain. Billions of neurons of the most complex computer on the planet would have to be copied exactly. The machine would split you into molecules and atoms, and then scan and copy them at another point. But if this ever happened, could you be sure that it was you who teleported and not your exact twin? Would you agree to such an experiment? Not me, baby. So let's consider a simpler but still awesome technology. Like a technology that protects houses from earthquakes by raising them above ground. Japan is on the cutting edge of earthquake safety with a groundbreaking technology that lets homes float just above the ground, ready to ride out tremors. A house gets support from a wide airbag that holds the building steady during an earthquake. The system uses compressed air for a sleek high-tech solution. Each home comes with a special foundation, a smart sensor, and an air compressor. The sensor is like the house's watchdog, constantly monitoring for seismic activity. When it detects shaking, it sends an alert to the air compressor outside. In seconds, the house can lift up to 1.2 inches, hovering safely above the ground while the earth rumbles beneath. Once the shaking stops, the air is released and the home gently settles back down. It's like a dance of safety and innovation, ensuring peace of mind during even the fiercest quakes. We all know about airbags in cars, but what about a motorcycle or bicycle? Yes, people wear a helmet and it's safe, but one Swedish company has invented a bicycle airbag, and the tests of this airbag showed better results than the tests of protective helmets. When a crash happens, the airbag pops up and immediately turns into a one-time superhero, ready to save the day but not be used again. Thanks to some fancy sensors and a snazzy algorithm, it's got your back, literally, by monitoring your moves and springing into action in just 1/10 of a second to cushion that unexpected tumble. Testing has shown that this nifty safety system scores a fantastic 4.5 stars for protection, outshining many other helmets that can barely manage 4. Plus, it's designed to fend off those pesky side impacts and twisting forces. But here's the twist. While this tech is pretty amazing, it's still got some room for improvement. Sadly, the company behind this brilliant invention hit a bump in the road and went belly up. News says they haven't aced all of their crash tests. So while the airbag is a fantastic idea, it looks like there's still some work to be done. Now, meet a technology that will give you a reason to start making videos about birds. This gadget gives you a front row seat to the avian action right from your phone. With its super smart AI bird recognition tech, this feeder automatically captures stunning videos of your feathered friends. The feeder comes packed with a sharp 1080p camera, complete with night vision, so whether it's dawn or dusk, you'll never miss a beat. Or a beak. Rain or shine, this bird feeder is tough enough to handle it all. It's waterproof and dustproof. Plus, with 2 solar panels on the roof, it soaks up sunshine all day long, so you won't have to mess with batteries. Meanwhile, have you ever heard of Google Jocard technology? The company has recently shut down this project, but it was still a pretty impressive innovation. Jocard inserted touch sensors and haptic feedback right into your clothes. Yep, that meant you could rock smart jackets and backpacks that let you control your phone without even touching it. Wait, are we becoming that lazy? Well, imagine this. A quick double tap plays or pauses your music, a gentle brush on the smart fabric changes the track, and if you cover a sensor for a second, boom, you mute those pesky notifications. How cool is that? It's like having a personal assistant right in your wardrobe. Hey, get out of my pants. Meanwhile, picture a train gliding on a cushion of air, or a sleek capsule zipping along at 760 miles per hour inside a vacuum tube. It's not sci-fi, it's something called Hyperloop. Inside, it feels like you're in a spaceship. You can kick back in a comfy chair, strap on your seatbelt, and get ready for an incredible ride. As you zoom through at almost the speed of sound, you won't even feel a thing. If you were watching from the side, this train would whiz past you faster than you can blink. It's all about that sleek design. You can think of it like air hockey, where the puck glides effortlessly over a field thanks to a thin layer of air. The puck floats above the surface, moving freely without friction. That's how the Hyperloop rolls, too. Instead of air coming from the tube, it's coming from the capsule itself, creating a tiny gap between the capsule and the tunnel. An electric motor then sends the train flying. Now, you might wonder about air resistance. At super high speeds, dense air can really slow big objects down. To avoid this, the Hyperloop travels inside a tube where the air density is lower. Special pumps will suck out some of the air along the route, but it won't be a perfect vacuum. Getting that just right takes a ton of energy. And here's a neat trick. A fan on the front of the capsule will push any incoming air underneath it. It's kind of like how pneumatic mail works, where parcels zoom through pipes thanks to air pressure. Solar panels on the tube's roof will help power this whole thing. Elon Musk dreamed this up a while back, but there are some challenges to tackle. Keeping that air cushion just right over long distances is key. Any cracks, bumps, or even a little earthquake could throw a wrench in the works. The technology is not quite ready for prime time, but if engineers nail it, we could travel from Los Angeles to New York, arriving 2 hours faster than a commercial jet. Now, air taxis and self-driving cars are great for flying high or cruising on smooth roads. But what happens when you need to navigate through rough terrain like mountains, mud, or swamps? Enter Hyundai's incredible innovation, a futuristic car that's ready for any challenge. Instead of wheels, this amazing vehicle has legs. This walking vehicle can tackle tough landscapes with ease and comfort. Each leg is designed with joints that bend, allowing it to conquer everything, from steep hills to the summit of a volcano, hopefully not when it's erupting. The future is here! Nah, I'm not talking about spacesuit onesies or living underground. I mean some cool stuff like teleporting, space travel, understanding your dogs, and so on. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg emphasized that augmented reality could teleport people to any location they wanted, whether it was for work or just having a relaxing day at the beach. With the Metaverse in play, entering a virtual room is already happening. The Metaverse is a virtual space where people can interact and socialize with each other through technology. It'll make you feel like you're physically present in the same place as other people, rather than just typing in a chat box. Imagine gaming or working remotely, but having a clear view of your office at the same time. You can achieve anything you need to do at work and also save time and money you'd spend on commuting. The only downside of working remotely is the lack of socialization. But being in the Metaverse will let you feel like you're not alone. The screens will be interactive, and communicating with your coworkers, friends, and family will look cooler. Even though we're not there yet with physical teleportation, virtually we can pin ourselves anywhere we want. Nanobots are called this way because they're really tiny. These robots are designed to perform specific tasks inside the human body for medical reasons. Once inside, they start acting on their own without the need to be controlled. Oh, and they can multiply like our cells. Now, we've often heard the word nanobots tossed around in sci-fi movies, but it's not that far-fetched. They're designed to perform super-specific tasks, especially in the world of medicine. Think of them as little mini-doctors inside your body that are accurate enough to diagnose the problem and prescribe treatment. Everyone will be healthier than before with these little bad boys. Now, every year, the population of Earth increases, the cause of which has been linked to babies. This means a higher demand for food. There's only so much space in urban areas, so farms will soon have to be located in the most unconventional places, like skyscrapers or in the air. And in the air means structures that can support vegetation on platforms. A prominent architect, Javier Pons, designed a building with 3 levels powered by solar panels on the top. The middle layer will grow various vegetables and fruits that will get nutrients from liquid instead of soil. The remains of the plants will drop to the bottom layer to feed fish, which can also be grown for food. Each structure will be large enough to support an entire city if needed. Skyscrapers can also host some mini farms on rooftops to support neighborhoods. A lot of greenery in cities will reduce pollution and essentially lower temperatures in hot places. Now, what about our cute little pooches? We all love coming home to our dogs, sprinting up to us and jumping around. They're either saying, "Feed me, I'm starving," or "Please don't ever leave me again." But what if we could figure out exactly what they're saying? Well, we've developed technology to understand our dogs clearer with the help of a mood collar. You put the device on your dog, and a digital screen indicates your dog's mood by colors. We already know that dogs speak to us or other dogs using their body language. A wagging tail is a sign of excitement or happiness. Snarling and exposed teeth mean aggression and back off. And of course, there's barking. Some barking noises can be warnings, others might be friendly greetings. Artificial intelligence will help us understand what our dogs are telling us by recording them on our phones. It's important that the app sees the dog's body language too, including the pooch's ears, tail, eyes, mouth, and so on. The app will then send this information to the cloud. The AI technology will decode this data by studying thousands of hours of animal footage and picking up the right expressions and sounds. This will allow vets to better understand their dog patients and prevent any harm that can follow. It will also help train dogs not to be too friendly to delivery people or pedestrians walking by in the park. The future of commuting lies in the air. No longer will we have to wait at a red light, counting the seconds till it turns green so we can make it on time to work. What if we use flying taxis as a means of human transportation? Hey, now we're talking! Electric air taxis are becoming a thing for transporting people. Amazon is experimenting with air deliveries, and they're proving to be a success. Flying machines have sensors that can notice hazards like birds, wires, and large objects. It's up to countries to adopt this new form of transportation. Even though air deliveries are available, authorities still need to figure out how to organize them, create rules, and set up safety measures. As for air taxis operated by people, we have to consider who is eligible to drive them or what kind of models can be produced. But we might see the sky filled with air taxis already in our lifetime. The future of fast food is about to change pretty soon. There are already digital cashiers where you can order food using a touchscreen and pay there without interacting with a human. Still want fries with that? Japan has pizza vending machines where you can buy freshly baked pizzas. Companies are creating robots that can prepare a burger and fries menu. They're quick and accurate. They won't add too much cheese or forget the onions. All these robots need someone to maintain them. Now imagine going to a fast food joint and not seeing a single human in front of you. You place your order with a digital cashier after customizing it. You pay and watch the robots at work. You'll likely see mechanical arms lifting the deep fryer and preparing a burger in front of you. Don't expect to see a humanoid chef preparing your meal. Robots are designed to perform specific tasks. That's why mechanical arms are more than enough. And if the future is flying delivery robots, there won't be any hassle of someone getting stuck in traffic while bringing your meal. Booking a ticket across the world is easy, but what if you could go to space for fun? Many major space travel companies like SpaceX and Virgin Galactic are looking for ways to turn space into a new tourist hub. It may go as far as the International Space Station or just to the border between the atmosphere and what is considered space. There's also the idea of a space elevator that could send people to the International Space Station. It'd be a tall structure based on Earth and reaching space, with an elevator moving passengers up and down. This would make space travel very accessible for anyone and cheaper than launching a rocket into space. There might be a future where the internet will be available everywhere around the world, no matter where you are. It's crazy, but only half of the world's population is online. Companies like Google see the internet as a human right and are trying to use helium balloons to beam it to remote places. Other companies are trying a different approach, like sending microsatellites into space, each the size of a cat. Meow. This will be a game changer for everyone to have access to the internet, which essentially means free knowledge for all. Imagine good old bricks being able to store energy to power your house. This project is still in its very early stages, but scientists in America are developing something called smart bricks that could be the future of construction. Each wall can store so much energy that it'll last for many hours. A special coating known as PDOT will harness electrodes, ultimately converting the bricks into powerful batteries. The red pigment in the bricks is made of iron oxide, which also helps them store energy. This will make a smart home even smarter. Now, I don't know about you, except you're a nice person, but if I had the opportunity to bring something from science fiction to life, this would definitely be a teleportation machine. I'm so tired of traffic and spending hours traveling abroad, and the idea of getting teleported to any part of the planet within seconds sounds way too appealing. So yeah, obvious choice. Let's imagine we already live in that world from science fiction, and the teleportation machine exists. If you want a fancy scientific name for what we're doing now, it's called the thought experiment. Thought experiments are common practices in philosophy, and they explore creative and unlikely scenarios. The point is not to figure out the truth about these scenarios, but to explore what we believe about them. We're going to have our own thought experiment, and imagine a world where teleportation is something regular. What happens then? And what are the possibilities of that world? Let's take a stroll around London, the capital of the UK. Yes, it's still the capital of the UK, even in this reality. See that red telephone booth? Let's walk in. No, I don't want you to call your grandma and ask her about her week, even though you probably should do it later. In this world, the telephone booth is a teleportation machine. Because, really, who needs them to make calls anymore? They're utilized for something more useful these days. So now, all you need to do is choose your destination. Use the numbers to type in the zip code of where you want to go. Now, on the screen, you see some options. Those are the exact coordinates of the teleports in your destination area. Of course, you just can't teleport yourself to any random place. This is not safe, because you can bump into someone who's already there. So there are special locations. Where do you want to go? New York? Okay, type in 10020. Now, you need to pick a location. Let it be this place. It used to be a newspaper kiosk. Yes, those were utilized too, because no one reads newspapers anymore. Let's say you're Alex. Can I call you Alex? Well, I will. So, Alex, you confirm your choice and press that button. Suddenly, you feel a breeze, and then you feel that you're dissolving into tiny pieces. Don't worry, it's normal. You're getting scanned, and your body, your consciousness, your feelings and emotions, your experiences, your skills, all of you just turn into atoms. It doesn't hurt. Then, a sudden rush, just half a second like during free fall, and then that breeze again. You can feel that you're getting your pieces back. At first, you can barely feel your body, but just a second later, you start feeling your arms, your legs, your heartbeat, your whole body. You're whole again. You're you. But are you really you, Alex? Are you sure about that? Are you sure that every single piece of you has been delivered to your destination? Are you sure that your consciousness has traveled safely along with your body? Are you sure that this really is the original you, Alex, and not just some perfect replica? Imagine there was a crazy scientist who created your duplicate. Would that duplicate be you? No, of course not. But if you ask your duplicate that question, they would definitely say that they are you. Then why are you, Alex, so sure that the you standing here in the middle of Manhattan is the original you, and not that duplicate who is so sure that they are you? Good question. And we will never know the answer, Alex. This is the question a philosopher named Derek Parfit asked. Is the teleportation machine really a form of transport? Or does it get rid of the original you and replicate a copy in a different place? The chances are it does the latter. Let's imagine that you, Alex, interfere with your future self and treat it badly. This is considered immoral. Parfit says that any kind of harm that one person causes another is morally wrong. Even if you're harming yourself, your future self is a different person. So, basically, a poor diet or skipping the gym is morally wrong too, just like any other risky behavior or endangerment. In his opinion, society must protect individuals. That's why, in Parfit's philosophy, teleportation is wrong. So, in a world where such a machine exists, the philosopher's supporters will be the ones who will protest against the use of teleportation machines. Just like environmentalists today, who stand against airplanes because they harm the environment, the new activists will stand against this human teleporting machine. Can you sense the dilemma now? Are you ready to possibly get rid of yourself and teleport your perfect copy to New York just because an 8-hour flight is a small inconvenience? Okay, I understand that maybe your body can be broken into millions of particles and then get swiftly transported to a different place and get put together again. But it's hard to imagine how the trick could possibly work with your consciousness. It's non-material, you can't split it into anything. Then how does it travel? On the other hand, you, Alex, fall asleep every night and then wake up the next morning. We can't know for sure that yesterday's version of us doesn't just vanish, and today's version isn't a new one, and there won't be another you tomorrow. Maybe we regenerate every night. If that's so, then teleportation won't be any worse than falling asleep every night, like we've always been doing ever since we appeared on Earth. Or maybe there's a new replica of us every time we enter a different room. There's a possibility we're regenerating all the time without even realizing it. And here's one last paradox for you. 2,000 years ago, Theseus founded Athens. The guy had a ship, and over the years, the ship started to decay. So people started renovating it plank by plank until there was not a single piece left on the ship that had been there originally. So Theseus's ship is practically made of new material. Then, is it still Theseus's ship, or is it something else now? If it's not the original ship anymore, then at what point does it stop being the ship of Theseus and become something else? Some might think it happens when the first plank is replaced. Others will argue that it transitions before the last plank is replaced. And someone else will say it happens somewhere in between. Now, the same thing actually happens to us humans. We regenerate all the time. Some organs live seconds and minutes, others last hours. But the regeneration process happens all the time, and we're not the exact same person throughout our lives. Then, how is it different from teleportation? Sure, when you, Alex, step into that machine, you're about to vanish. But it's not going to be any different from how you vanished since you started watching this video. While you were watching, the previous version of you disappeared. And if you're ever teletransported to New York, it's not going to be any different. Anyway, possibly destroying your original self isn't the only problem. Actually, Derek Parfit was describing his ideas on teleportation on the example of moving from Earth to Mars, and he went even further. Let's say humans got concerned and managed to upgrade the teleportation machine. Now, it doesn't destroy the original version of you, but rather just creates your replica in the destination place, and that replica will remember the teletransportation on Earth in the first place. Now, there are practically two of you in the universe. Let's say you two get to meet. Then you, Alex, can talk to your perfect replica. But since you can talk to them, then that means that they are not you. If you pinch yourself, they will feel nothing. If you get sick, they won't feel anything and will stay healthy. So they are you, but they are also a different person. So they aren't really you. Okay, I'm going to have to go and untwist my brain from all that. Bye for now. 200 years ago, 1821. Someone's knocking on your second floor window. It's morning. You look out. There's a guy with a long pole walking down the street, tapping on everyone's windows. Weird. Well, not really. He's a knocker-upper. Seriously. Before alarm clocks were standard in every bedroom, these people used to walk through the streets, waking people up so they weren't late for work. Well, you get up and go to the bathroom. There's just a chamber pot. Great. Well, it's state-of-the-art. Fast forward 200 years, 2021. Your favorite song wakes you up, not too loud, not too soft. You open your eyes, grab your phone, turn off the alarm, and scroll. it's time to get out of bed and go to work. You take a shower, brush your teeth, make coffee, and boil 2 eggs for breakfast. 10 minutes later, you put on your business casual and go outside. Car, highway, traffic jam. Now back then, there's an iron basin with cold water next to the mirror, which you fetched yourself yesterday from the well. You wash your face and brush your teeth with a toothbrush made from wood and hard animal hairs. Your toothpaste? A powder made from crushed bricks, charcoal, and salt. Yum. So, did people back then have really bad dental hygiene? Actually, not as bad as you think. They ate unprocessed foods like wheat, rice, fresh vegetables, and fruits. This kind of natural and healthy food is pretty easy on the teeth. No preservatives, no extra chemicals. People mostly ate food that contained vitamins that made their teeth stronger and more resistant to cavities. Rich people, though, they weren't so lucky. Sugar back then was an A-list elite item, and the rich just couldn't get enough. Confectioners were constantly coming up with new candies and sweets for them, and of course, all that sugar destroyed their teeth. And it wasn't like you could just pop over to your local dentist office. Your local dentist might also be your local barber, or even a blacksmith. The main method of dental treatment was simple: remove, remove, remove. And you start to talk like this. Luckily, your teeth are fine. You hardly eat any sugar. You're not going to take a shower because you already washed 7 days ago. Anyway, getting more water from the well seems like a lot of effort. You light a fire and put your clay plate right on the coals to bake yourself a corn tortilla-looking thing. Then you wash it down with a glass of milk, warm of course. You don't have a fridge. No one does. A frog is swimming in your barrel of milk. You got this tip from some weird traveler you met the other day. The frog's skin secretes a special substance that keeps microbes away. That way, your milk doesn't go sour. You only have 2 sets of clothes, so you're doing pretty well in life. One of them is at the tailor's right now. Your favorite suit, the one you washed in lye in the river yesterday, is dry and ready. You put it on. Come on, another hole in your shirt? Those moths will eat anything. You go outside. The roads are dirty and the smell is, intense. People pour pots of liquid out onto the street. In a few decades, every house will be connected to a water supply system. Wow, progress! You catch a carriage, give the coach driver some coins, and hop on. Today, you're crawling down the highway. It's horrible. Hundreds of other cars, and the heat is ridiculous. You turn on satellite radio. Maybe there's something interesting happening. Ooh, awesome! The latest NASA rover just took some new photos of Mars. Well, back then, you're riding along when you suddenly hear the shouts of a newspaper seller. You ask the coach driver to stop and call out for a newspaper. The front page says that Michael Faraday just created some kind of prototype for an electric motor. You have no idea what that means, so you just flip over to the next page. The traffic jam's finally over. That sweet voice from your driving app says you'll be at your destination in a couple of minutes. The driver doesn't remember exactly how to get to where you need to go. So there's a lot of pulling over to ask passers-by for directions. You arrive at the office, sit down at your desk, open your laptop, and fire off some quick emails. You finally made it to work, the biggest weaving factory in town. You pass by rows of machines where workers sew clothes, go into your office, and shut the door behind you. The first ballpoint pen is still a few decades away, so you grab your trusty fountain pen. You read some letters and jot something down in your diary. Lunch break! You and your colleagues pre-order a business lunch special and chow down on it in the break room. Your lunch break starts pretty early because you need at least a half an hour to walk to the nearest restaurant. You order a vegetable stew and wait another 40 minutes for it to be cooked. After lunch, you go back to the factory. Right when you're packing up your stuff, you get the best text of the day. Your friend's having a party this evening. You RSVP with a bunch of emojis. You run out of the building and drive home to shower and change. Your hand is getting stiff from all that writing. You filled out about 40 sheets of accounting reports. A young man comes up and hands you an envelope. "This is for you, sir, from Mr. Harper." The man leaves and you open the letter, sent by courier. Fancy. It's from your oldest friend. He's having a party at his house. Everyone's going to sit around and listen to his niece play some music. A fun evening. Music, the company of interesting people. Nice. You make it home, pop in the shower, and put on your most stylish, but not too stylish outfit. Ready. You whip out your phone and order a car. 15 minutes later, you're pulling up to a small house. You hear music, people chatting. This party's got potential. You leave the factory, climb into another carriage, and head over to your friend's house. Before that, you stop by the tailor's, pick up your other suit, and ask him to fix that hole in your shirt. The coach pulls up to an epic estate. There are already several other carriages lined up at the huge iron gate. Ladies in magnificent dresses and gentlemen in tailcoats and top hats get out. Everyone walks down the muddy path to the main entrance. Whoa, this party is amazing! The dance floor is wild, and all you can see are arms waving in the air. You recognize the DJ from your Instagram feed. She just dropped another new album. You start to get into it, dancing, moving, fist pumping. It's starting to get kinda hot in here. You stroll over to the kitchen to get something cool to drink. This has got to be one of the best parties of your life. A beautiful lady starts out with a striking melody on the pianoforte. It's Beethoven's Sonata No. 31, his latest blockbuster hit. You sit on a luxurious sofa with the other guests and enjoy the music. People clap and cheer during the piece and go wild when it's over. What else would you do when you're listening to Beethoven? Yeah, you go into full headbanging mode and jump to the beat along with everyone else. The bass is vibrating through the floor, the walls, you. As soon as the concert's over, the host invites everyone to the other room for a huge buffet. Lobster, fruit, baked vegetables, fresh hot bread, rolls, red and black caviar. Yeah, you try to play it cool, but you stuff yourself until you feel like you're about to burst. There's a knock at the door and a huge delivery of pizzas, chips, and sodas arrive. Sweet. The evening's almost over. You chit-chat a little, dance a waltz, drink tea, and down some more of that fruit dessert. Then it's time to go. You walk down the muddy streets until a carriage lets you on. Before bed, you change into your nightwear, wash your face, and light a fire to keep warm. You close your eyes. You're in a weird nightmare. Some kind of dark room surrounded by strange people. There's some sort of weird noise coming from everywhere. It feels like a rhythmic earthquake. You dance, but it's more like shaking than any dance you've ever seen. You wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night. The party's over and you're passed out on your friend's couch. You dream that you attended some beautiful old-fashioned party. Wait, isn't that Beethoven?
Scott Kelly is a lot of things. An American engineer, a retired astronaut, and a time traveler. Wait, what? Kelly commanded the International Space Station on several missions. On one of those trips, he spent 340 days aboard the giant, floating science lab orbiting Earth. While he was up there, improving the water recycling system, testing heat transfer in microgravity, and doing all the other genius-level stuff astronauts do, he was also aging. But not like you, me, or even his identical twin brother Mark. He was actually aging slower than all of us. Okay, so both brothers are astronauts and have been to the International Space Station, but Scott spent way more time up there. About 10 times as long, actually. And here's where things get more interesting. Even though Mark was born 6 minutes before Scott, he is now 6 minutes and 5 milliseconds older. That happened because Scott aged a little more slowly while he was orbiting the Earth. And astronauts age slower because they're moving much faster than us, at 17,500 miles per hour. Basically, the faster you go, the more time stretches out. So the closer you get to traveling at the speed of light, the slower you age. From Scott Kelly's perspective, nothing felt unusual up there. Time passed like normal for him. But he actually aged less than his twin brother over the same period of Earth time. So when he returned, we can say that he had essentially leapt forward in time relative to us. So, if traveling close to the speed of light lets us leap forward in time, that means astronauts have already kind of achieved time travel. Sure, it's a bit of a letdown that it doesn't happen like Back to the Future, hopping into a cool futuristic car and zipping into another timeline. But this is real, at least according to some scientists. Real time travel isn't about jumping from one moment in time to another, like going back to the age of the dinosaurs, then hitting a button to fast forward to the year 2100. The time travel that's possible today is more about actually living into the future. It's about moving faster than 1 second per second, just like Scott Kelly did. To explain the theory behind this wild idea, we have to bring a celebrity into the conversation: Albert Einstein. Think about your childhood and your retirement. Whether it's in your past or your future, time always ticks at the same steady rate. But then along comes Einstein saying, sure, but it's not that simple. He introduced the idea that time is relative. In other words, the amount of time you experience compared to someone else depends on what you're both doing. And where exactly you are in the universe. Time is not the same for everyone. Here's an example. You're sitting on a bench, holding a melting ice cream cone. Meanwhile, your friend zooms past in a super fast spaceship. For you, maybe the ice cream melts in 5 minutes, but for your friend flying at a crazy speed, this same scene took less time on his watch. That's time dilation. Time actually moves slower for things that are moving faster. That's the heart of what's known as special relativity. We actually proved Einstein's theory back in the 70s. Two scientists took super accurate atomic clocks and flew them around the world on planes, first going east, then west. They compared those clocks to a third one that stayed on the ground. When all three were brought back together, they showed different times. The clock that flew east in the direction of Earth's rotation lost 59 nanoseconds, and it was moving faster relative to the ground. The one that flew west against Earth's rotation was moving slower, so it gained 237 nanoseconds. Now, think about those astronauts living in space moving way faster than we are. They travel at about 5 miles per second, orbiting Earth roughly every 90 minutes. If you do the math, spending 1,000 days up there lets you skip about 0.027 seconds into the future. I know that doesn't sound like much, but that's because the speed of the ISS is tiny compared to the speed of light. Still, if we keep going with that idea, it pretty much makes the astronaut Oleg Kononenko humanity's greatest time traveler. In 2024, he set the world record for the most time spent in space: 878 days in orbit. Okay, so we now know that Kelly and Kononenko are, in a way, living in the future. But what about traveling backward in time? Well, I'm sorry to say, traveling back to your glorious high school days is a whole lot trickier. In theory, we could, but in practice, it's pretty much impossible. Imagine space and time as this big, stretchy fabric, and gravity is what bends it. Kind of like when you put a heavy bowling ball on a trampoline. In theory, if you could bend it just right, you might create a shortcut through space and time called a wormhole, a tunnel that connects two different points. Let's say the present and the past. Now, usually, gravity pulls things inward. It wants to collapse tunnels, not keep them open. So the walls of this tunnel are constantly under pressure from the universe, trying to squish them shut. To stop that from happening, and to keep the tunnel open long enough for something or someone to go through and get to the past, you'd need something that pushes outward, against the collapse. And that's where negative mass comes in. Negative mass is a weird, theoretical idea in physics. Unlike regular mass, which pulls things together with gravity, negative mass would actually repel things. It would push away instead of pulling in. It's like using anti-gravity to keep the tunnel from closing. It would act like braces, holding the tunnel open from the inside. But here's the problem. We have never actually seen negative mass. It's just something that might exist on paper, in math, but no one's ever found any in real life. Plus, there's something called the self-consistency principle. Basically, it says that time travelers can't create time paradoxes, like those crazy scenarios in the Butterfly Effect movie. Let's say you go back in time to stop your granddad from meeting your grandmother. But here's the problem. If they never met, that means your parents were never born. And if they weren't born, well, how do you exist? That's a time paradox. Something that causes all sorts of inconsistencies in the universe, making everything a total mess. And according to the self-consistency principle, that's impossible. It just can't happen. Some specialists, though, think they have an answer to the grandfather paradox. All we need to do is think about time as an endless loop with no starting point. In a closed time-like curve, as this theory is called, the past and present blend together in an eternal time loop. There's no way out. There's no changing things. It would all look the same if played in reverse. For example, what did you do yesterday? Let's say you woke up, brushed your teeth, worked all day, had your meals, and then went to bed again. Following the closed timeline curve theory, if you could go back to yesterday, you'd do those exact same things in the same order, no matter how hard you try to take the day off. Because in a closed time-like curve, you're attracting not just your steps, but every single second of reality itself. And that's the only way time travel could be possible. So, even if we somehow manage to build a time machine, and even if we give it our best shot to change the past, nature will always find a way to prevent contradictions. In the end, everything would have to align perfectly to keep our history from becoming a mess.